Sometimes the best part of a video game isn't placed in the forefront. Sometimes it's hidden where you won't find it. I love the Hitman franchise. I've played every entry going all the way back to the beginning, and for the most part, the games just got better and better. Except for Absolution. I don't like Absolution. But in my own personal opinion, the best entries in the series have been the last three: Hitman, Hitman 2, and Hitman 3, otherwise known as the World of Assassination Trilogy. That's not to say that everything with these titles has gone smoothly. Each game had a bumpy launch for one reason or another. Episodic release schedules, complicated game bundles, changing of publishers, and a variety of other issues that you don't really need to care about. What's important is the game itself. And don't worry, you don't have to rush out and buy 3 separate games to get the full Hitman experience. I'm gonna make this ultra simple. The best game in the series so far is Hitman 3. If you're new to the series, Hitman 3 includes multiple bundle packs that can be purchased, giving you access to every previous item and level contained in the trilogy so far. And what awaits you in the world of Hitman? The best free-roaming, target-focused strategy gameplay in a video game that I have ever seen. If you don't know what Hitman is, here is the basic loop of the game. You're a hitman, and you take out specific people. They're usually pretty bad people, so it's a good thing. The gameplay itself is pretty straightforward, but it's in the choosing of how you take out those unfortunate individuals where the game really shines. If you want, you can just walk up to them and shoot them in the face. Kablam! But for players who take their time, they can get really creative and set up events that unfold in ridiculously fun ways. If you idolized Home Alone's Kevin McAllister and his makeshift traps as a kid like I did, then this game is made for you. It's like Kevin is all grown up, shaved off all of his hair, and became a lot more murdery. The insane details that every level has makes the stages incredibly replayable. You'll revisit locations again and again, discovering new areas and points of interest. Learning the layouts and finding out new ways to make traps work is so rewarding that you'll want to find all of the stage's hidden secrets. Each map is almost a giant puzzle that you're figuring out, taking every element and using it strategically together to take out your target in the most efficient or bizarre way possible. As much as I like the main campaign missions and story of the Hitman games, to me, the best part of the trilogy are the elusive target missions. But they're also one of the worst, most frustrating, poorly implemented features I've ever seen in a video game. Oh, I'm not kidding. This garbage makes me angry. But first, let me explain what they are and why I like them so much. Elusive targets are limited-time special event missions that reuse existing Hitman levels with newly designed targets to take out. They're kind of like a remix. It's the level you know and recognize, but with a whole new flavor. They're very exciting to play, mostly because, unlike in the main missions, you're pretty much on your own. In the typical missions, you're kind of held by the hand and shown what you're supposed to do. You're given visual indications of who to talk to, what to pick up, and you can even hold a button down to see through walls that reveal your target's location pretty much anywhere in the map. There are multiple difficulty levels that can change how much you're assisted and how few times you can save, but in the end, you're never completely on your own. Elusive targets, though, well, they're different. A target is identified as being in a level, but you don't know where they are, and the special see-through walls ability doesn't highlight them. Instead, you need to listen to your briefing closely for any hints. You'll also need to walk around the world and catch any conversations that might help you further. Everything you need is there, you just need to pay attention. It's really fun and satisfying to hunt for clues yourself and plan how you want to take out your target. Here is how the same type of assassination is done in a main story level versus an elusive target level. Each target wants a specific drink. You find out how to make that specific drink, you poison their drink, you take out the target. Simple. In the main mission level, there is a guide that assists you along the way. even on the hardest difficulty, you can still see a highlight of your target. You'll also be given brief menu notifications to tell you that you're following a set path with hints and directions of what to do next. In the elusive target scenario, however, you'll need to find your target who is not highlighted at all. You'll be forced to find them out of the crowd, silently stalk them and observe their movements, happen to listen to them request a specific drink. But finding that drink's location, the poison, and anything else you'll need, that's completely on you and your own intuition. One, even at its most difficult, feels like hand-holding. The other feels like you've orchestrated the event all on your own. To add to the fun, there is no way to save and reload elusive targets. So everything you do has a sense of urgency and finality to it. Screwing up means you'll lose your target, and that's something you don't want to happen because, well, you're only gonna get this one chance to take this target out, forever. Elusive targets are exactly that. Elusive. Once you complete or fail these special missions, you're locked out from ever trying them again. You get one shot, and that's it. And this is the mistake. The developers at IO Interactive had a good idea with elusive targets, but through all 3 games, they never implemented them in a way that was any good. Their limited availability is terrible, and if you miss the window when they're available, that's it. You miss them for good. And if you do play them before they go away, you get one chance. Not being able to save your progress is one thing. I totally get that and think it does make the level more exciting. But the joy of Hitman is the act of replaying your missions again, finding better and more interesting ways of taking out your target. And they took that away for the most interesting missions in the entire game. Elusive targets do not have set events or giant set pieces. No assistance, no visual aids, it's all on you. And when it works, it's crazy rewarding. But the one-shot play and restricted timing of these elusive targets make them a complete nightmare for people to play. Right now, I can't even tell you watching right now, to go play it because depending on when you're watching this video, there might not be an elusive target available, and the ones I'm showing you won't be live anymore. If the goal was to add more value to the game and add more content, it's a total failure by self-imposed limitations. If you happen to get into the Hitman series late, you're completely out of luck, having missed tons of these already expired elusive targets. Now look, there are defenders of the elusive target system. They like only being able to try that target once. But remember that drink poisoning thing I showed off? Well, there was a massive problem with my playthrough. The game glitched out continuously. Losing your one chance at an exclusive mission because of a glitch? That's about the worst thing that can happen. And I ran into multiple situations where I couldn't serve my target her tainted beverage. She just couldn't be selected for some reason, and instead, I poisoned totally random people. Glitches happen. I get that. But these glitches wouldn't be so game-breaking if they would just keep elusive targets open after your first playthrough. There is no purpose in not doing this. We've even seen some of these elusive targets from earlier entries get reactivated for a certain amount of time. The fact that they could do that really shows how artificial these limits are. And the kicker is these missions have a lot of work put into them and contain some really cool ideas and concepts. A few even have celebrity guest appearances like Sean Bean, Gary Cole, and Gary Busey. And you can't play it! All of the past elusive targets combined, we're looking at hours of gameplay that is essentially hidden from players for no good reason at all. This is a pointless restriction. IO Interactive, if you're listening, you need to fix this. The Hitman Trilogy is finished. Your company is moving on to making new games, and this tarnished feature should be corrected. People deserve to play all of these targets. Let us enjoy these contracts whenever we like and allow us to replay them if we fail. That's it. Everything else can stay the same. The difficulty, the restricted saves, and the lack of highlighted targets. All of that is incredibly fun, but not when they're impossible to play. More people need to experience this series for all it has to offer, and the elusive targets should be something that every player should have access to, even if they came to the series late. The Hitman Trilogy is a fun series of games, even if you don't have access to the elusive targets. It's something I recommend for people who just like fun puzzles and building strategic traps to take out baddies. But if the developers of this game ever choose to open up elusive targets to everyone, well, that game mode will be the crown jewel feature of the entire Hitman series, making a completely unique experience that I consider to be one of the best ever.